I am thrilled to introduce you to a rising star who is already making her mark with her incredible skills and vibrant personality. Meet Shannel Wilson, a talented stylist, a very, very talented stylist who made a bold move from Phoenix to Tampa to pursue her passion for hairdressing. With just 2 years in the industry, Shannel has quickly become known for her creativity and exceptional work, making her a true standout, especially for me. What makes today's interview extra special, you guys, is that Shannel is not only a fantastic stylist, but also she's my niece. As a 28-year veteran in this industry, I could not be more proud of her journey and the bright future she has ahead. Today, we'll dive into Shannel's experiences, the challenges she's overcome, and the passion that drives her. Let's get inspired, everybody. Welcome to the show, Shannel.
Hey, everybody. I'm so excited to be here. And yes, this is my aunt, and I'm just even more excited to even be here with her. So I'm super happy that I was asked to be on here. So let's get into it, you guys.
Yes, let's get into it. So, Shannel, let's tell everybody a little bit about your background. Can you tell us about your journey into hairdressing and what inspired you to choose this career?
Okay, so when I first started doing hair, I definitely, honestly, when I first started out, I was actually going through this breakup and I
Oh,
felt like I needed to focus on something. We go through stuff and we just feel like I just need to put my focus in something and then I don't have to worry about that. So that's what I did. One of my cousins that I grew up with that when I was younger, she did hair, she did braids and she did dreadlocks and stuff. So at that time I was like, just show me how to do this. I'm like, show me how to do it. I'll watch you, but and if I need help, just help me out. So literally, I'm a really quick learner. So she showed me the whole concept of the braiding and, doing locks. So I did that for my first unofficial year of being licensed for 2 years. And I really did like that, but I just honestly didn't really have a more passion for that than
mm,
wanted to advance myself.
mhm.
At that time, with braiding, it's very it's a long time for me. It took me a long time to do a whole head. Sometimes it would take me 6 hours or 7 hours sometimes. So I'm like, first off, I don't want to get arthritis in my hands, and I don't want
Do
to
that.
sit here for hours just to really not even make anything from this long amount of time that I'm working. So I just really didn't see the benefit of it. But just me being greater and me knowing how to do more. But then I was just like, okay, I want to accelerate. So I found a school, and originally I did go to school in Arizona before I moved to Florida, and I went to Avalon.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was yeah,
Mhm,
it was
mhm.
cool. But life was lifing, and I had to stop going to school. So then I'm like, okay. So then I ended up moving out here a year later, maybe
Mhm.
the next year. So pretty much I moved here. My boyfriend got a promotion at his job, which brought us to Florida. So we
And what
came.
was, Chanel, that transition like moving from Phoenix to Tampa? So you're saying that you were licensed here in Arizona and you had started your career. And
Yeah.
did you do reciprocity when you went to Florida, or did you have to do more schooling? What are the differences in the schooling hours? Like how many
Um,
hours
here
versus Arizona?
Here, I'd actually Arizona actually needs more hours than.
Really?
Yeah. In Florida, you only need 1,200 hours to be licensed in the state of Florida. They do have schooling here
And
for
here in Arizona, it's 15 hours,
yeah,
1,500.
I think it's 16
Oh,
actually.
1,600.
Yeah,
Woo.
16.
Okay.
So it's a lot.
Okay. Okay.
So I actually didn't actually get all the way. I didn't get licensed in Arizona, so I finished like half my schooling, and then like I ended up stopping because I was a single mom at the time, so it
Yes,
just wasn't.
yes. Happens to the best of us.
So they like moving here was very much different because like I've never lived anywhere else. So this was like a really big change for me. Um but like transitioning over, like honestly it was fairly easy. But when I moved to Tampa, I wasn't really in exactly Tampa, but like a city that's like 20 minutes from Tampa. Um
Okay.
so there wasn't like a lot going on where I live, so I had to find a school. So when I moved here, before I moved here, I was like, okay, let me get what I want to do. So I
Mhm.
went and looked at different schools. I looked at Paul Mitchell. And I
Okay.
looked at Paul Mitchell because my aunt went to Paul Mitchell. So
Mm.
like, and so I looked at that first because I just seen like, her career and how she forged from going to that school and everything. And I just heard really good things about it. So that was like my first one that
And
I went.
that aunt, everybody, is not this aunt. That's a different aunt. This aunt went to Tony and Guy.
Oh yeah, you sure did. You sure did went to Tony and Guy.
Uh-huh.
So I went to I was gonna go Paul Mitchell, but then I didn't really like what they were kind of like offering me there. I think
Mm.
what I was looking for was more like just to learn more about like black hair. Like I
Oh,
like know my hair, but like I don't know everything about it. So I really wanted to find a school that was going to implement that. And a lot of schools just weren't doing that.
right,
Like it's like
right.
honestly, like right now is like the time where more people are doing classes for curly hair and textured hair and stuff like
Sure.
that. Before, like it wasn't a thing. Like it
Well,
was
and you know why. I
no.
can tell you why, as being in this industry
Hmm.
and being alive as long as I've been alive, but it is because, in my humble opinion,
Hmm.
now that everyone's hair is curly,
Right.
I
Exactly.
digress.
Exactly. So that's
Go on.
exactly what it is.
Go
So
on.
I end up going with Aveda. And like Aveda is like a brand that's like well known. I think it's more well known like overseas and internationally. So I what I really liked about them was that like they had told me like I'm like I'm asking my questions like okay like what do you guys do here like what will I be learning like and just asking all my questions that I need to know. So like one of the questions that they did tell me was like yeah like we did go and add more textured courses into our curriculum pretty much. So I was like all right cool. It was closer to my house also because I didn't want to I don't like to drive you guys.
What?
So I just didn't want to go to a school that was like I
You're
have to
like,
like drive an hour. I
yeah,
just can't do it. Like I
yeah,
can't.
yeah,
So
yeah.
they were fairly close, and also they were a really new school. Like the school that I ended up going to, the brand isn't new, but the school that I went to was brand new when I went. So I did really like it. It was like the only thing I would take away is like I just really wish I didn't go to a school that just opened because they were really just trying to get everything together still, and it wasn't just like put together. Like there was teachers
So
quitting
you
every
feel
class.
like you got kind of lost in the shuffle of
Yeah,
new something new that needed to repair or build
yeah,
structure, I should say.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly,
So
exactly.
what are some of the challenges you faced when you started in the industry? Would that be one of them, would you say?
I
Or
think
is that your
honestly,
biggest hurdle?
no, actually, like even though like it was a new school, like I honestly feel like Aveda gave me the confidence to be behind the chair as soon as I was like done with school.
Mhm, mhm.
What I can say is like we got a lot of floor hours, and like with us being like the first, like my class that I graduated with was the first class of that whole school. So when we got in, it was like a lot of the girls were already doing hair. We all had pretty much already been in the industry before we were actually in school. So they're like,
Oh,
okay, all right, you already do highlights, you do balayage and all this stuff. Okay. So when clients will come in, we were really only supposed to be doing like haircuts and like, the basic haircuts and blowouts pretty much. But they're like, okay, if you're comfortable with doing these and these people are coming in for this, why not do it? So like from the our first stage, we were already like
You know,
doing.
that's very similar, Shannel, to when I got my start. I started at the very first Tony and Guy salon in Scottsdale Fashion Square, and we were painting the walls and hanging the pictures. It was
Mhm,
literally the first one,
mhm,
and we were all mostly new. And
mhm.
they had their core staff from their affiliate salon that they
Yeah.
moved over once they started or became a franchisee, the
Mhm,
owners. And
mhm,
so we were, although we were still technically in training, we were
mhm.
also cutting hair and coloring hair because they didn't have any stylists,
Yeah.
right? And
Exactly.
so they'd say, you know, you started doing hair when a client says, when did you, how long have you been doing hair? You
Mhm.
say, you start from the day you started beauty
Right.
school, not, don't tell them yesterday. So we're like, okay. And I'll never
Right.
forget that. You're right. It's like the school of hard knocks.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you started in an Aveda salon, which I hear is amazing. My last interview with Priscilla, she goes by thy underscore stylist on Instagram.
Okay.
She started at an Aveda salon, and she's a colorist.
Mhm.
You know, she cuts too. I mean,
Yeah.
she's good at everything, to be
Yeah.
quite honest, but she's really good at color corrections and things. And she talked about Aveda's color system.
Mhm.
And she said it really did teach you how to formulate
It
because
does.
nothing came already mixed in a bottle. Like you had to
Exactly.
add every single
Exactly.
tone to that bottle. And I'm new to color. I'm very new because you know, everybody knows my story. I got thrown into it when my colorist, Bestie Boo, retired after working side by side for 20 years, coming
Mhm.
from a departmentalized salon like Tony and
Mhm.
Guy. I had to choose cutting, she had to choose color.
Yeah.
So we were kind of married together, right? And we built
It
a
just meshed.
clientele together, right?
Mhm.
And so when she retired and I had to take on color, woo, Lord Jesus Christ Almighty in
A
the
lot.
sky, girl. I was
It's a
like,
lot.
wow. And so I chose Schwarzkopf and Redken. They're more user friendly, I feel.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like I got the formulation expertise that someone like yourself or Priscilla got by going through a system like Aveda.
Mhm. And that's what I've
Hmm.
heard about Aveda too. Like, cause now I do work at a Redken salon.
Okay.
And coming in here, I started working here like when I was still in school.
Mm.
So like just like
And how
having
did you choose, Chanel? How did you choose that salon to work? Being that it's Redken, and why wouldn't you gravitate toward something related to Aveda, or was Aveda just in passing?
it, honestly, like I did go to some Aveda salons. So I was like, making my way around. I went to far deep into Tampa. I went
Okay.
like, pretty much everywhere to kind of just see where I liked it. Like if I vibed with the people, like, just like having a good atmosphere is very important. So the Aveda salons that I went to, like I just was not feeling it. Like I just felt like
Mm,
I'm pretty like down to earth. Like I'm like, I'm not stuck up, but like,
right. Right. Right.
I
Right.
like nice things, but I just felt like all the Aveda salons that I did go to, like I just felt like they made me feel like even when I was just going into interviews, like I just got like the feeling that like they just felt like they were just so above me and like all this, like I just knew,
Oh, kind of bougie.
yeah, very.
Mm.
I'm like, okay, I love that for you guys, and I love that people are confident. But like, also, like when someone's first coming into the industry, like it's not for you to like belittle them, like
No.
help them, like you need
Hmm.
it, And I just feel like I wasn't gonna get that there. I didn't feel like I was gonna grow there, and I don't feel like I was gonna be comfortable in the salons that I did go to that were Aveda. And I'm not saying all of them are like that, but the ones that I did go to
You know,
were like,
Chanel, that's one of the problems or one of the things that I wish I could change about our industry,
mhm,
because even me starting this new show, and this show is less for me and more for me paying it forward and trying to give new stylists coming into, or just new beauty professionals in general coming into the industry, just the best insight that I can do, right?
Mhm.
Or that I can give. And so really, when I invite a guest on, as I said, it's not about your following or who you think you are. It's
Mhm.
about the quality of work that you do, and
Mhm.
that it looks and appears to me that you would have something great to share with my
Right.
audience. That's really what it's about.
Right.
And to celebrate and champion our industry. And just like in my chair, I I made this mantra early on, given to me by my first mentor. You know, I don't worry about who's not in my chair. I cater to the ones who are. And
Right.
that's exactly what I'm doing with this show. I'm not going to worry about who's not across from me on the
Right.
screen. I'm going to champion the ones who are,
Mhm.
because you get these people, and especially now you add social media and give them a little
Right.
following, and it's like
Right.
gets culty and weird, and
Mhm.
people, they get their egos stroked,
Mhm.
and either you're going to take it and use it for good, or you're going to start feeling yourself and be a complete dick,
Yeah.
and it's like,
Yeah.
and that's fine for you, but you're not my people, you're not my tribe. I want
Exactly.
no parts of that. So if you
Right.
don't
Yeah.
respond, don't respond. Keep
Just
it
like
on
piggybacking
down the
off of
line.
that, I just went to the hair show premiere in
Hmm.
Orlando.
Hmm.
And like there's like this influencer, she does hair and everything, and I follow her. Like I've been following her for like over a year, and I had seen her, right? So like I had went over and I was like trying to tap her so I can like talk to her or whatever. And like she didn't even turn around for me like at all. She just literally like her people, like I didn't even know they were with her. So, but she like grabbed my arm and was like, "Oh, she's hungry right now, so she's just gonna go eat." But I'm like, girl, first off, she could have turned around and said something rather than me like tapping you looking crazy, and then your people coming at me.
Well,
But I just
let's be clear. You're not famous.
right.
All
That's
you are an
exactly
influencer. I know what behind the scenes looks like. And
exactly.
I know what a brand deal looks like. And I
Mhm.
know how quickly you can get it and how quickly they can take it away. And so
Exactly.
I know that your amount of followers, or how recognized you are, literally does not necessarily put money in your bank account
Exactly.
unless you have reached the level of a Guy Tang,
Hmm.
Chris Appleton,
Hmm.
Brad Mundo. Okay, then yeah, they can be
Right.
bougie.
Right.
Okay, because
Right.
Guy
That's
Ting
how I
is on
feel.
Netflix and he's a
Right.
celebrity like Kimberly Kimball. Okay, you
Exactly.
expect you're not
No,
going to just
I
roll up
would
on
be I
him.
would be okay with that. I'll be like,
But
okay, I'll
everybody
do that.
else, it's like, yeah, do you deserve to eat? Absolutely,
Exactly.
you do.
You
Do you
do,
have
but
people recognizing you? But guess what?
exactly.
Your 15 minutes will be up in 5 seconds the minute people
Exactly.
stop tapping you on the shoulder. So
Exactly.
don't take that for granted, right?
Exactly.
And so I really hate that for our industry. I
Mhm.
really, truly do.
Yeah,
So
it's
I'm sure with learning and growing, what have been the most important lessons you've learned in your first 2 years as a stylist?
man, I think my first 2 years have been like the craziest. But I think just like very much like patience. I think for me, I like have patience till I don't. So, and then I just needed to like kind of learn like some people are just gonna try you. Like they're gonna try you, and you just gotta take it for what it is and just be professional as possible.
So when you found your salon, your happy place, where are
Mhm.
you at now? What's the name of your salon?
It's called New Identities Hair
Okay.
Studio.
And they're
They have
Redken?
patients. Yes, they are
Okay.
Redken. They are underneath like the L'Oreal like
Yeah,
umbrella.
yeah.
Yeah,
L'Oreal owns everything. We're
exactly.
underneath L'Oreal. I think they own us too. I don't know.
Yeah, they own everything. Like literally Matrix, Redken, like everything. They own.
Literally all the things.
So yeah. Sorry. Can you ask me a
No.
question? I'm so sorry.
Yeah, yeah,
I
absolutely. We're having technical difficulties, you guys, just by the way, because she's in Tampa and they're having storms.
yes.
So it's kicking her Wi-Fi around a little bit. But we were talking about the salon you work in now, it's Redken, and you were sharing a little bit about the salon you're working in now.
Right. Yeah. So the salon I work in now, like they've been here in this area for like 16 years. And then their other location, they've been there for 20 years. And a lot
Mm.
of the stylists here, they've been here for about the same time, like 14, 15 years, a lot of them. So like just with that being said, I'm like when I came in here, like knowing like the history of the salon and everything, like just even looking on this wall because I'm here right now, like they've been featured in different magazines and everything. I think last year they just got like we just got like the best level salon or something like that last year.
That's
Um,
amazing.
yeah, so it's like I just feel like just being in this business here has very much like made me grow just being around the people that I am around because again, like I braided and did locks when I before I even got in this color world. So I just feel like they guided me in a way that I really needed it. And there was nobody here that was like belittling me. And like anytime I needed help, like anybody was here to help. Like I did
You
like
know
an
what I always say, and I sorry to cut you off, but as a new stylist, you're in the right place
Mhm,
when they actually care about your education
exactly.
and helping you grow as a stylist. Because
Exactly.
any salon owner, and trust me, I've been one for many years, any salon owner who doesn't think that a stylist is going to come in and build their brand and possibly leave to do their
Mhm,
own thing
mhm.
is delusional. I
Right,
mean, you all know that. So,
right.
but if you want the hair being produced in your salon to be beautiful and represent your brand, you must educate those that are
Exactly.
doing hair in your establishment.
Exactly. Exactly. And so when I did first start working here, I did do an associate's program, which a lot of stylists, I don't know, I think before it was like a year that you had to be an associate after you got out of school. I don't think everybody does that. I do say it's a good thing to do when you do get out of school, only because like we only learn really like the basics when we're in school. So like just getting into an actual salon and like being behind the chair and like, just being more hands on, it just really like helps. And what helped me the most, because like I said, I did the associate program here, which was only 3 months, by the way. I wasn't doing a year. That was a long time. But it just really helped me a lot because again, I went to Aveda and I didn't know anything about Redken when I came in here, like nothing, absolutely nothing. And everyone here was just like, Shannel, like you went to Aveda, like you can do anything that you want because of how you learn the color system. And me, I'm like, no, like I don't understand this. I don't get it. Like,
You're like, well, I
I was
think
just
that
like
was
overwhelmed.
great. That's great advice that you gave to
Mhm.
those who are new coming into the industry. Really good advice.
Yeah.
So how do you stay motivated and continue to improve your skills?
Honestly, I think like when I get on Instagram, sometimes I just kind of get motivated that way. Like a lot of like the people that I follow, like Kim Kimball. Did I say her name right? Kim Kimball.
You did, Kimberly Kimball.
Okay. So her, and then like there's another lady that I just like started following. Her name is I think her name is I am Kendra. I,
Hmm.
I am obsessed with that
With
woman.
her.
Like literally, I'm
Okay.
obsessed. So like just like seeing like women like that, like women like
I
me.
am Kendra. I will be dropping into your DMs. And if you respond, wonderful. If you don't, wonderful.
She's great. She's great. Okay. She's great. She does like a lot of like color and she does like silk presses and a lot of like textured hair, but she does all hair too. And then
Nice.
yeah, but she's amazing. So I've been following her a lot too. And actually I met her when I went to premiere too, and she was nice and sat there and talked to me.
See, I mean, that is huge. I think I will definitely, having you said that, given that you said that, I would definitely be giving her a shout. I do have coming on to the show, Studio 9 to 5. She
Okay.
does really, really good hair as well. Her name is Trinity. So I'm
Okay.
excited to interview her.
What did you
When
say it
you,
was? I want to put
her,
it here.
it is Studio 925 and it's spelled out.
Okay.
Studio 9 Ninetofie.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah, and I think she does
Oh,
beautiful
yes.
work.
So good.
Right. So I'm
I'm
excited
excited.
and she's excited and I'm like, "Oh my god, she's my people." See? That's what this is about, paying it forward. And, another stylist told me, oh my God, my friends were saying, with your amount of followings, you shouldn't be doing anything for free. I'm like, wow, that blows my mind, because something like this is to showcase you. It's invaluable. Like, it doesn't have a price. Any platform, no
Mhm.
matter how big or small, that you can get on to promote your brand should be seen as a good thing. It
Yeah,
should
for
never
sure.
be beneath you. That just
For
blows my mind. But you know what? It also gives me fuel,
sure.
because I have big dreams and goals, and I am manifesting something great. And one day, all of those people, because I don't forget, you're
Yeah.
going to be wishing your ass had responded to my
Seriously.
invitation. But
Seriously.
I digress.
Mhm.
So
One thing
with
I
your,
can say is that, like, Kendra, she will respond. Like, I think every time I've even messaged her, she's always responded to
I
me and
love
been
it.
very
I
responsive.
love
So
it.
I love that about like people that, and she does have a big following. Like, she
I love
does
it.
classes, she does all that stuff.
I
So
love
it's
it.
like
And so
I
she's
love
smart. She's
that.
smart
Mhm.
to respond to those that are supportive.
Yeah. So that's
How did
great.
you build your clientele, Shannel?
Um, Girl, everywhere. Like, I've been on
Because a
Facebook.
lot of young stylists have told me that 100% social media,
Yeah,
which
for sure.
terrifies me. I'm like,
It's
oh my
scary.
God, really?
Because I'm not really on
100%.
there. I've been trying to be so more like so much better on like posting, but I suck. Like, I really suck. And like, I will sit here and edit my videos,
But
everything.
you're a good stylist, and that's the thing. You
Yeah,
doesn't mean you're the best content creator, and
exactly. Just
and
like
you
you were
know,
saying in your intro, like, that is really what it is. So I'm
that's what it
trying,
is.
but it is. But I've like honestly just like TikTok, honestly, TikTok has helped me more than any of the platforms, really. I have a lot of people that will like message me from TikTok and then they come in, or like, I don't even know they're got me on TikTok and they message me on my Instagram. And I like, anytime anyone comes in here, I always ask, like, hey, like, how did you find
How did
me?
you hear about me?
So like
Yeah.
where like my clientele is coming from, just for like data purposes. Um,
Mhm.
Also, like, I think my second best was like Facebook. I'm in a lot of like mom groups and like just hair groups and stuff in Tampa. Just because again, like, I'm not from here. So it's just like
So that's an interesting tip and approach that I have not heard. So you just pop into the private groups?
yeah, like they have a bunch of hair groups in all cities. But just like going on Facebook and like finding like those mom groups, finding like hair groups sometimes, even in there, like there's just a bunch of different like stuff that you can find on there. But those are two that I can really just think of right now. Like, I'll go
I
in on a
love
mom
that.
group and just be like, hey, like, I'm located in Riverview, Florida, and I'll like, if I'm having a special or something, if I'm doing something, like I did something for Mother's Day, like I did like a color and cut for like $100 or something I did like for Mother's Day. So like, a lot of moms feel like they can't afford to get their hair done. So it's like, okay, well, let me show you that you can still come in here. And then let me show you that like even when you do come in here, that it's not going to be extra expensive for you to keep up with your hair when you do come in. So like once you get them into your chair, it's like, okay, like now let me go ahead and keep you. Let me show you how we can keep.
Yeah, and that was going to be my next question. What strategies do you have for our audience that you use to retain your clientele? Because, we
Uh,
can get them in once, but
right.
sometimes it's hard to lock them in.
Right, exactly. I ask a lot of questions. I talk a lot, you guys. I talk a lot to my clients. So I
But
kind
you know
of
what?
just,
That's a good quality to have
yeah,
as a stylist. You have to
yeah,
talk to a different person every hour.
exactly.
And I
Um,
have to apologize, you guys. I'm going to mute my mic because my husband's going to show up at some point with his loud car. So go on.
okay, so yeah, really like what I do, just like really talking to the person and just asking them questions like, how often do you like coming into the salon? How often do you see yourself coming into the salon? Like, are you like a one type of year type of person? Like, just asking like
Mm,
some questions just to know, like, all right, even if I do reschedule you, I know like I need to tell you, like, if you're coming in for a balayage, usually you're not coming in that often anyway. But I always let them know, like, hey, these are the like the steps to keep your hair up if you want to do that, if you're that person. But if I always tell them like, okay, if you know you're not going to come in the next year, let's go ahead and do something that your hair will grow out and it will still look good, but you can still come in and get a toner and we can refresh your color and stuff like that. So that really helps. I always tell them like, look, your toner is going to last either like 6 to 8 weeks. It could last longer depending on how you are with your hair. So let's just make an appointment for the 6 to 8 weeks. Let's do 7 weeks. And if you
Perfect.
feel like at that time that you don't want to come in, that you feel like your hair looks good, we can push it back another week.
Yep.
So they're always really happy with that. But I always just let them know like it's better to get you scheduled now rather than later, because then later you might not be able to get that time frame that you want. But if
Right.
we do have you in at this time, even if that time comes and you're not ready, you can just push it back out. But at least you have an appointment if you want that appointment at that time. So
Absolutely.
you
Yeah.
know, so a lot of times they're like, okay, like, all right, like, let's go ahead and get scheduled. A lot of people are like, all right, well, let me just go
Now
ahead.
now with me, back in my day, we actually had to, well, I still kind of do it. I have a little book, profile book, and I
Hmm.
notate things in there like
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
Are they doing that today, or using an app, or are you just banking that in your memory like
So
that she
what I
said?
do, I have notes for my
Okay.
clients. Okay, you guys, I have
Okay.
notes because like sometimes I'll be like, okay, if my person is a teacher or whatever, I'll be like,
Mhm,
okay,
mhm.
she teaches, or I'll write whatever I know just so I can remember the person. Like, because I'll see the name and still probably not know, and then I see it, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if I have a note, I can be like, okay, this is a teacher that works at so and so,
Yep.
and she comes in, da da da, she has this, and then that just kind of helps me with that. But like in our, we use Mevo for our
How do you spell that?
it's Meevo.
Oh, Mevo. Okay.
Yeah, Mevo. That's what we use to set our appointments and everything like that. And like I have access to it through my phone. It's not an app though, so it's like, it's like a internet like
Oh,
website.
you can just log on to it.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
a
So
platform. I like
yeah,
they have a
so
website.
exactly. So
Okay.
I just use that, and then like if I'm doing anything for like for myself, if I'm like if someone reaches out to me and I'm booking it myself rather than like my salon booking it for me, then
Mhm.
I'll just put my own notes in there. Like okay, say for instance if they're from TikTok or Instagram. I'm like, okay, I'll write what I talked to them about when we did our consultation, whether it was on Zoom or whether it was just like we're messaging back and forth or whatever. I always write like, okay, this person's from Instagram. She wants to come in at this time. This is her price range. This is what I quoted her. Just so I know, like when you coming in, I just know what's happening rather than be like,
For
hey,
sure.
like let's just go through this consultation again, and then I might give you a whole different other price. I don't ever want to be the stylist to be like, yeah, I know I told you this, but now it's this.
Oh
So
my gosh, the worst. The worst. Like
that's the
what
worst.
bill
Like, I'll be so
what
pissed.
yeah, what bills are due this week? Is that how much my hair is going to
Right.
cost today? I mean,
Exactly.
it's ridiculous. Chanel,
Exactly.
what are your favorite techniques? Let's get into you and you doing hair. Like what techniques did you form a specialty, or are you all the things? Oh no, a landscaper. So I'm going to mute. You go
Okay.
ahead.
So I like honestly, I'm a colorist. I like to do a lot of color. I like to do a lot of balayage and highlighting, which is what I do, which is crazy because when I first got like into hair, I hated highlighting. Like I hated it. Like I hated it so much. I would tell my instructor like, why do we have to do this? Like, why do I need to know this? Like, I don't like this. And she's like, well, why don't you like this? Because you braid, like you used to braid, so it's like tedious, just like that. But I'm like, I don't know. I just don't like this. But also, I was more of like a perfectionist. So like when my foil wasn't looking right, I just didn't like it. So it was just more of that. But now I love it. Like that is like my thing. That's what I love to do. I like to do like transitions for anybody. Technique wise, I don't know. I'm more like a curly hair. I want to get more into curly hair. Where I'm located right now, there's just like not a lot of curly hair people that like,
Well, let's talk about some of the hair that you do. I got
Okay.
some examples today.
Oh
So,
yes,
what are we doing here? Like, were you doing
girl.
like platform work? Is this a branding shoot?
No,
What are we
actually,
doing?
this is when I graduated cosmetology school. We had to do like an exit, like, thing or whatever. So with my friend right here, she like she has curly hair, coily hair, and she likes to be colorful. So I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and play around with the Aveda Vivid colors. And I came up with this, and like we did like a photo shoot. So it was like hair, makeup, and then we did a photo shoot. But we had to show what formulas we were using, what colors we were using, how we wanted to execute whatever we were doing. So that was the process with this. And then this was like the photo shoot that I did. So me and my friend, this
That
is my
is
friend, girl. This is my friend.
incredible. Like right there, you can already tell that you have natural talent. And
Mhm.
so and you're going to have a long career. You
Thank
absolutely are.
you.
Let's talk about this one. Look at that. That
Yes.
is, I mean, you've been in the business for 2 years. I mean, the blend, the tone, I think you did an
Yeah.
incredible job here. So what
Thank
technique
you.
did you use to do this beauty?
So here she was already kind of like blonde, but like this client right here, she had actually moved from California, and so she came here. And she was just looking for something that like she still wanted to be really icy blonde, and still have that like California girl, like, but she still wanted it to be lived in a little bit so that when her hair grows out, it's not like crazy looking. So what I did here is I just did like a really heavy highlight, like with like sorry guys, I'm not really good with the terms, but like baby lights. So I did a lot of baby lights in her hair. So I really like packed all that in there. The middle part, I mean, you can't really see that, so that doesn't matter. But yeah, pretty much I just did a bunch of like baby lights, and then just like I use a lot of teasing, because the teasing kind of just blends it a lot more. It just makes it very, very seamless, which I really, really like about that, to where like I feel like I don't have to do like a root tap or like anything extra. So I will tease in certain areas, especially like here at like the hairline where she wears her hair out, so that like when it is growing out, that you still have like some of your natural color, and then you have the color that I highlighted as well.
I
So
love that.
yeah,
That
so so that's what I did with that. And then like, just like a regular toner. I think for this, like something icy, I always use like I would use like a 9 for her. I use like a 9P, I use 9V. And then I always add like a little bit of clear, and then I always add a little bit of like a gold or a iridescent color. Because
Now,
the
let me ask you about gold because that terrifies me. I know that that helps it stay nice and bright, but can you explain the theory behind how?
So the gold, okay, so like just think of like the colors that I just said. So we have P, which is more of like a pearl purple color, and like a light like violet color. And then you have the V, which is also like a purple color. So if we put both of those together, like it's just gonna be,
We're having some audio issues.
still scares me to this day.
Yeah,
It's still
we had some audio issues. So
okay.
you were talking about mixing the V and the P.
Yes. So those are both like violet colors. So honestly, blondes will always scare me, but I love it because once you put the toner on, it gets really dark, and it looks like the hair is turning purple or dark or like gray or something like that. Crazy. So I use like I use the GI, which is a gold iridescent. And with the gold iridescent, it still has the gold, but it has an iridescent color in it, so that it kind of just like makes it to where it's like, have you guys, like that nice, like when people have that salt and pepper hair, and it's like that nice like white color that they have.
You mean
That's
kind
what
of translucent a little
yes,
bit?
exactly,
Like more
exactly,
sheer? Is that what a
exactly.
Redken means by iridescent?
Yes. So
Okay,
that's what it
got
looks
you.
like. And I feel like that just kind of takes away from it turning so like dark from the P and V, because like I said, those are both have purple backgrounds in it. So it's just
Well,
kind
let
of
me
something
ask
really
you,
boring.
since you are in a Redken salon, because I ask every stylist this question, do you leave the toner on for the full 20 minutes?
Girl, honestly, sometimes it just depends on the person. Like, if their hair is like already like very like fragile and like it's already like broken, it's going to like consume the color a lot more. So a lot of times you don't need to do 20 minutes, but a lot of times I do 20 minutes, but it just depends on the porosity of the hair.
What does
Uh,
that look like with scheduling? Is that scheduled in? Because okay, it's
yeah.
scheduled in.
Yeah,
All
schedule
right.
in. So like how am I like if I would do like a full highlight, so here like my full highlight will include like the toner, your style, and it includes the highlighting. So we just bunch it
And what
all
would something
together.
like that cost on your menu?
For me, like like my partials start at 180. And again, like that's including everything. So you don't have your toner and everything, like so that is like a starting price for me, what I would just say. And then for my full highlight starts at 220.
That's
So
proper. I
yeah,
like it.
yeah, and I feel like it's cool because like a lot of salons do add everything in. So like they're like, okay, this is just for your highlight, right? So now you have to get your toner, which now it's up this price. And then, oh yeah, wait, or your shampoo and blow dry is separate. So now I need to
Right.
charge extra for that. And it's like, just to exclude all that, like I just like how my salon did it to where it's like, we're just gonna include it all. So I like that about the aspect, you know what I mean? Because it just gives you like this, okay, this is what it is. I do let people know like it could be more, but this is just a starting price from where it would start at. This would be like the lowest price you would pay.
Whoops. Am I out off or on? I'm glad that through your salon, they are helping you to get the confidence and establish your worth, because that's the problem. Why people fall off is because they're not making enough money. So
Exactly.
this pick here is gorgeous. Is this one of your balayages or a foliage? What is this?
Yeah, so with this, like anytime I balayage, I really don't really balayage that much anymore. I really I can't even say it, foliage a lot more because I like
Foliage.
foliage. Yes. So I do foliage more than I would like balayage because when we balayage, like it's open air and I just don't feel personally for me that I don't get the lift that I need from an actual regular balayage unless I'm
Well,
doing really.
let me interject and say my last interview, she goes by Camouflage and Balayage. Her name is
Mhm,
Amy McManus. She's like
mhm.
the balayage queen.
I love
And
it.
she talks about that. And that got uploaded today to my YouTube channel, Hair Genius Academy. And the show is called Trendy with Kim Allison. Shameless plug. But if you watch her interview, I ask her about the open air and how she nails it and all the things. So that's a really good one to check out, guys.
Yeah, like
Anyway, go
I love
on.
it.
So this
It's just not for me,
this
but
is
I like it.
foliage then.
Exactly. So yeah, I did like a foliage. I always start like in the back pretty much, and like I just take big sections. Like a lot of the sections, like all in the back, are like literally I put like probably six foils in the back, and that's like on the hairline area in the back, and they're bigger sections. So I just weave, boom, and I like I said, I'm a teaser, you guys. So if you come, just know I have to comb your hair out.
You're
But
like gonna be lived into and to an extent. How long does a service like this take you?
this takes me about like 4.5 hours for this just because like I always like to, depending on what color we want to do, like this color you really just only needs to be like a level 7 so you don't have to really get that bright. And with her, her natural hair color was already not like super darker. It wasn't black, but I would say she was probably like a level 3, which a level 3 is like a brown color, like a brown black.
Well, it's
um
always nice when they have realistic goals for their hair,
Goals,
and so
exactly.
you're already living with those undertones, which makes it easier
Exactly.
to nail it.
Exactly. So yes, I do a foliage mostly to get that, but at the top I always do like more like a baby lights at the top, and then I tease it more at the top. So like I said before with the other picture, just so that like when I comb that out, like it's very blended. I don't ever want to have my clients walking out with any bleed marks or anything to where it looks like it's like, when you balayage sometimes some parts just don't get bright, so then you have to have like that melted like ombre type look. But a lot of my clients don't want that. Like they want to be like the solid color around, which is why I foliage. So here around the crown, I always do like more of like a baby light type deal. And I just tease that to get the color. And then yeah, I think I didn't even, you guys, I used one color with this, one redkin color. I didn't even make, no, I like.
So this is basically a lift and tone.
This is a lived in tone. Like she could
Like
go like,
lift,
yeah,
lift. You lifted it with
yes.
bleach or did you just lift it with color?
I lifted it with bleach. And then I got her to like a level 7. And then after that, like I used like some red and brown tones, which like this reminds me kind of like of like a cherry cola type of color. So I use like a red,
Okay.
like a RB, which is like red and brown. And then I use like what else would I use? I'll use like a NB, which is also like a neutral brown as well to kind of just kick it off a little bit. But I want to have more of like those like redder tones in there. So I will use something more like that.
Now,
So when I use RB, so with the RB, which is red brown, I'm gonna use more of that because that's more of the tone that I want it to be, but I don't want it to be like too much. So then I'll add something neutral like the NB, which is a natural brown, which will still have the brown color in it and still have a
but would
natural.
you say that's like a 2 to 1 or
I would
just a
say, I would
splash
say,
or what does the ratio look like?
okay, so I do ounces. I don't really know grams that much. So I would do like 1 ounce of, well, actually, I would do 2 ounces of the RB. So use 7 RB. And then I'm going to use, I use an 8 NB. And I use like, I would do like an ounce of that. Okay, because I want to have more of the RB in it than I want to have the NB. And then I always put clear in my formulas when I tone, always, because I just feel like it kind of dilutes it a little bit. So I'll just put like a little bit, not even, I'll put like probably like a 0.5 like ounce in there, like nothing crazy. Just to get that. And then I have her sit for 20 minutes and it comes out like that. But when you first wash, it won't look like that. Okay, so if you guys do that, like just know it's gonna look real dark. Don't be scared. No, it's gonna when you dry
Well,
it.
your work is beautiful.
Thank you.
And I know I see great things for you, which leads me into the next topic. I want to talk a little bit about social media and what your plans are to build and just what your current posting schedule is and what you recommend.
Okay. I don't really have a posting schedule. I try, y'all. I'm trying. I actually just took a social media class to help me with this, which was great. And I'm pretty sure, I don't know if you know who this is. Her name is something Confessions Beauty. She's very known. She does
No,
hair.
I don't know.
Hold on, let me find it because I she's great.
Well,
Samantha.
I took Chris Kardashian's master class and I still don't know doo doo.
Really? I don't
No,
even know. I probably want to learn.
she just basically said, get on all of them
Okay,
and
no.
post every single day, all day, as much as you can. I'm like, well, Avi, but do I have to
No.
do that?
Yeah,
Um,
no.
yeah.
She was very
So
insightful. I'll put her, this is her Instagram, you guys. I don't know if you can really see that, but this is
yeah.
her.
Okay.
It's great. I'll send you her profile also. So when
Yeah,
I do the
perfect. Yeah,
class,
I would love to bring her on if she's willing to
yeah,
share and grow her business.
send it over now. She is great. I took her class when I went to the premiere. When I went to premiere for the hair show, and I did
Mhm.
an hour class with her, and it was great because she actually gave us like a 30-day like thing. Like, okay, take this pamphlet and then try this and
Oh,
see.
like a blueprint.
Yeah. And she showed us like, okay, when you're using your phone camera, this is the settings that you can use for your phone if
Oh,
you're using
wow.
this with your phone. If you're doing it from a like your camera, these are the settings that you can use from that. And she showed us everything that she uses. She's like, she doesn't even use her camera. She just uses her phone and a tripod. So she showed us how she set up her tripod and everything like that. And she's just like, literally, it was like so insightful that I was like, wow, like, she told me to,
That's amazing.
was just letting us know, like, it's great to like post 2 times a day, like, 2 times a day. And then just you can use anything for like a reel or anything, because now we like to see like how things are being done. Now we like to see like how you are in your background. Now people like to see like your personality. You know what I mean? To see if we're even gonna vibe when you come in, which I love
Well,
that.
that's what you know, my coach, or not a coach, I don't have a coach. I'm teaching all of this to
Mhm,
myself, but I do have a friend who is in this business of content creation
mhm,
on the back end.
mhm.
And I'll ask him, like, oh God, what do you think about this? Whatever. And he's like, Kim, we see that you have Hair Genius Academy, but we don't know a dang thing about who you are. You have to post more about yourself. And I'm like,
Right. Because for so
so
long, like,
I do have a yeah, I do have a Patreon that I am launching, and that is where I will disclose all the things, like my whole life, my whole real life, but I will also start posting more about myself. But you're right.
yeah, auntie, you
So
can do a
being
whole lot of stuff. You can do like even like when you get ready, like when you're getting ready for your podcast, like you can sit there and be
okay,
like, okay, getting ready for my podcast. Watch me get ready, and then you put your neck
okay.
on, you put your shirt on, and then okay, there's my fit, and then boom, then you can do like okay, like just even you sitting down at your station for your podcast. Like watch me get ready for my podcast. These are the things I do. People like to see that, so
People
just
are
doing a
nosy.
bunch of
I
stuff like
love it. You know,
they
and
nosy. I'm
and
nosy.
as a reality
It's okay.
yeah, as a reality TV junkie, literally it's like run if I can like shoot it into my veins, I would. That's how much reality TV I
Right,
watch.
right.
I that's why I watch, because I
Yeah,
find someone
exactly,
interesting and I want to know everything about that
exactly.
person.
And then that's
Yeah,
when you go
which makes
follow
me
them, and that's when
yeah,
they're
which
doing all
makes yeah, exactly. Well, with your
exactly.
busy work life and your you're just, again, as I said in the intro, a rising star. Clearly you are already great, so you're going to be that much greater
Thank
moving
you.
forward. I can't wait to see you 10 years from now and where you are.
I know.
For sure. How do you manage your work life balance with your daughter, your 7-year-old, my little great niece, Sky, and you have a boyfriend? Are you going to get married? Can we share? Can you give us, speaking of being nosy and getting all up in your personal life?
Okay, I'm all right. I'm all right. So we have my boyfriend also has a son, and he's 6, and they're my our both of our kids are 7 months apart. So he'll be 7 later this year. So with them being like so close in age, it's really actually great because they play with each other and they're like each other's best friend. So
Yeah.
that really like works for me. And then also like honestly, like my boyfriend is very, very helpful. I don't even think like I would be doing all this if I really didn't even have him, to be honest. Because just like going through school, like I was in school 3 days a week, 11 hours a day. So it's like that's a lot for like just me being a mom, like me being a girlfriend, like me still having to take care of home, everything. Like, and I was still doing all that. So
Well, that's why I read a book called The One. It's a great
mhm,
book. I wish I could think of the author. But he said, anybody's success, I don't care who you are, whether you're Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos or anyone or anybody, no one is self-made.
right. You have to have
No
a
one.
team. Like you have to
No
have
one. Like
super
somebody
team up.
has given you a leg or
Mhm,
catapulted you,
mhm,
financed you, supported you in some way.
mhm.
You may be the brain behind something, but nobody can do it by themselves. No one can do it solo.
Right,
There is just no way.
right. You
So
need a team. You
kudos
need a team.
to your boyfriend. What is his name?
Like, yeah. His name's Antonio.
I feel like I should know this
And
and I don't. So that's
yeah,
shame on me.
I don't know. Honestly, grandmother, grandmother has met him.
Oh, grandmother has the tea, girl. I that's
Yes,
why I don't talk to anybody, because all you have to do is talk to your grandmother and you know everything
yeah,
about everybody. You know
yeah.
what I
That's how I
mean?
feel like my sister is. That's how I feel Nikki is to like us. She's like the person that I can just go hit up my sister, you guys,
She's the
and she talks
glue.
to
Well,
everybody.
there's
And I'm
got
like,
and
how's she
Aunt
go?
Lynn is that in our group.
Yeah, Aunt Lynn
Yeah,
is because
there's
Aunt
always
Lynn be
somebody.
giving me She called me at like 4 o'clock in the morning the other day. I'm like, girl, I'm asleep. I'll call you when I wake up.
Love you, but night night. What are your future goals? What do you see yourself getting into next? Do you see yourself as a salon owner ever, or do you want to do more digital creation and education? What do you see for yourself moving forward?
So I would say moving forward, like I'm in a salon right now, and I think like this is great for me, like right now. But of course, everyone wants to branch out. So I personally, I think my next step would just be being a suite owner first.
Yep. Yep.
And then like just really just getting like the business aspect. I'm kind of in between that and even like moving to another salon for like another year because I
Okay.
feel like even going to another salon can kind of like help me in different ways because I've been here for like about like 3 years kind of here.
Yeah.
So like, just kind of like getting my foot in somewhere else and then just like learning from other people
Yeah.
as well. I feel like you can always learn from everybody around you. So I'm kind of in between like those two right now. But I think mostly like just for like my schedule and like me having like kids and everything, I just feel like it would be better for me to be in a suite.
Yep.
Just based on like what I want to do and everything like that.
For
Only
sure.
thing is, I just honestly, I'm like, you guys, I'm scared to be by myself and a
I
suite.
was too, but you know what? As it turns out, I'm just fine.
Yeah, I
Because
just feel
you're not by yourself. You have your client. But it is, I mean, two heads are always better than one. You always need some type of energy. You just got to make sure you covet, that space of yours and that what you
right,
allow in is going to serve
right.
you. That's
Definitely.
really
I
the
definitely,
the
yeah.
key.
So I definitely, I'm just kind of like nervous, but also, yeah. So sweet and or another salon is like where I'm at right now. But also I do kind of want to get into educating. So that will be like later. And I definitely want to also, I'm looking to be like an ambassador also. So I've
Well,
been,
another incentive to grow that following.
exactly. So I've been just trying to find a good like brand that I want to use because those higher brands are actually kind of hard to like get into, of course.
Right.
So I've been just trying to find something that like I could work with and I can use with my clientele to kind of showcase it anyway. So that's where I'm at right now.
Now, do you specialize in a certain, are you a universal clientele? Because it looks like you are, like you do all
Yeah.
texture.
So
Okay.
yeah, I do all textures, but honestly, like that was also for like the first couple years. I kind of just wanted to get behind the chair and see what I liked the most. I personally, honestly, it just took me a while to kind of know what I wanted to specialize in, which I just kind of did that. So now, like I overall, like I am a colorist, and that's what I do specialize in is color.
But
Um,
no particular texture.
yeah, no
You'll
particular
color any texture.
texture.
I love
Yeah,
that because I
yeah,
do a universal clientele, and
mhm.
that's the way
Yeah,
to
I
go.
love
You don't
it.
wanna turn people
Exactly,
away. Yeah, for
exactly,
sure, and it's good to know because
exactly,
ethnicities change, but hair texture can be on any head. You can
exactly.
have Black women with silky, straight hair,
Mhm.
so you can't,
Yeah.
um and I was going to stop saying and I promise you guys I am going to get better at this interview thing. I promise you that. I practice. I practice.
It's been
Can you
great.
share, Shannel, any advice that you can give? Because you're now in the veteran stage, being in the game 2 years, but there's
Yeah.
somebody right now in beauty school terrified about what they're going to do when they graduate. Is there anything that you would say to that person now that you are 2 years in?
I think definitely just staying true to like yourself and not just trying to like find somewhere to be just because it's like a place to be. And I think also like I would do like an associate's program. Like I think like it's great. I think like when you're going into a new salon, like they can help kind of like mold you a little bit. And they just give you it just gives you like a different outlook on like what you were already doing in school. Cause now like it's kind of like that, but I think it's more hands on. Like you're more behind the chair and you get paid So like
Hello.
that's a plus.
Hello.
But I think like it's great for anybody to kind of do. I wouldn't suggest to do like a whole year unless you actually feel like you need another year. But we're in school for a year, so I just don't think that's a long time. But I think anything to like 3-4 months, like I think that's great to be behind the chair and helping and find a salon that like you can still be on the floor and still do your associate's program at the same time, because you still want to be behind the chair. You don't want to forget what you're doing.
Right.
Because if you're doing an associate's program, you're an assistant is what it is. So like you're assisting around, but you still want to do your own thing and knowing what you like to do as well.
Right. And my husband's coming, like, woohoo. Can you hear the car? Like, good gracious. So let me mute my mic real quick.
Okay.
You know what? Yeah, I got to mute. Can you hear him?
No, I can't actually hear
it. If you can't hear him, then I'm good.
I can't hear it.
Okay, good. All right. We are going to, Shannel, get to the wrap up. Thank you so much. You were a great interview. I have some rapid fire questions for you, and I call it the 60-second blowout. It's so corny. I know that is cornball city.
It's cute.
But you know what? It's my city, so I can do whatever I want in my city.
Exactly.
You know, they say dance like nobody's watching. So yeah, that's what I'm pretty much doing. I'm winging this whole experience. So thank you for being along for the ride. And here's where I put on my ginormous glasses.
Those are cute. Those are really cute.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to set a timer for 60 seconds. And then in that 60 seconds, you don't know what's coming your way, ma'am. So until it comes. So answer as quickly as you can, because this is called
like I'm on a game show
the
now.
60-second blowout rapid fire.
I'm ready.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yes.
Set.
Yeah.
Go. What's your favorite hair product that you can't live without?
Quick blowout. Redken.
What's your go-to hairstyle for a quick makeover?
Quick. I don't know.
Even behind me,
Oh, yeah.
What's your biggest hairdressing pet peeve?
Oh, coming in with oily hair. That's
favorite place in Tampa? Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Instagram or TikTok?
TikTok.
Favorite hair trend right now?
The body wave curl.
One word to describe your hairdressing style.
Chic, I guess.
Dream celebrity client.
Dream. Kim Kimball.
Yay! And make your silliest selfie face. Love it. You were amazing. I appreciate you so very much. And Shannel, where can our audience, where can my beautiful newbies and audience find you?
City-wise, I am in Riverview, Florida. It's like 20 minutes from Tampa. And then also like I'm on everything. So you can find me on TikTok and Instagram. There is my @name, Cosmo Shannel, on both of them. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
I love it. And what's the name of your salon?
It is called New Identities.
New Identities. Okay, Shannel, thank you for your time. I will see you at the next family gathering. I am sure one that you can fly into. Love you so much. Yeah, love you so much. Have an amazing day.
Thank you.